It is my pleasure to interview the Dean of the College of Fine Arts, Dr. Raymond Tymas-Jones. Dr. Tymas-Jones, I'm going to begin this interview by asking you to tell our audience about your development as a musical artist and educator.
Well, I'd be very pleased to. I'm a product of a family of musicians and preachers. My dad was the minister, my mother was the musician, and so my musical career started when I was a very young child, as singing with my brothers and sisters, and then from there I studied piano, trombone, and then conducting. I started conducting church choirs when I was a young kid. But I grew up in Washington, D.C. and did my undergraduate work at Howard University, where I majored in voice and piano. I was very fortunate to be accepted and received a fellowship at Washington University in St. Louis, where I did a master's of music degree in choral conducting and vocal performance. And then I entered into their PhD program, where I did a PhD in performance practice and voice with a minor in musicology. So my career started from a little kid, but went all the way through. I followed music. My teaching career began at SUNY College at Buffalo, where I entered as an assistant professor, and I was there for 10 years and left as the associate dean of the College of Humanities and Fine Arts. And from there I went to the University of Northern Iowa, served as the director of the School of Music, a fine School of Music there, for 5 years, becoming a dean of the College of Fine Arts at Ohio University. And then in September of 2005, I moved to Salt Lake City to assume my responsibilities here at the University of Utah.
Well, you really have done so much in training yourself for a position such as this, and I can see where you would have the scope of all the arts, which is very important for a dean.
Yes, I tell everyone I have the best job in the university. I'm sure President Michael Young may not agree with me, but and the reason why I have the best job, not only do I have the pleasure of interacting with great artists and scholars and educators, I can be a student. So the areas of the arts where I am still learning, I can always ask, and that's the best part of the job. So I'm still learning a lot about dance, and my aesthetics and understanding of dance is growing every year because of my association with the college, and that's true of all the arts. And so I'm sitting pretty because I do have a wonderful, wonderful job and a wonderful opportunity.
Hold the position of Associate Vice President for the Arts, and this is a relatively new position in our university, and I wonder if you could explain the difference between being the Dean of the college and also holding this position as Associate Vice President.
This is a very unique position. Most institutions, as you just alluded, only have deans of fine arts. The arts are so important at this great institution. There are several arts auxiliary units. In addition to a College of Fine Arts, where we have 6 departments, Department of Art and Art History, Department of Ballet, Department of Modern Dance, Division of Film Studies, School of Music, and the Department of Theater. We also have 4 academic support or auxiliary units responsible for also bringing an arts impact to our campus. They are the Utah Museum of Fine Arts, Pioneer Theater Company, which is a Lord Regional Theater Company, a presenting center, the Kingsbury Hall, and then we also have a wonderful outreach program for young children called the Tanner Creative Dance Program. As the Associate Vice President, I provide oversight for all of the auxiliary units, and as dean, I provide leadership and oversight for the academic units. So in essence, I'm responsible for all the arts units on campus, both the academic programs and the academic support programs.
You know, there are some people who look at a College of Fine Arts and think, what is it doing as a part of a university? Because they think in terms of the sciences, the engineering, and all of those other academics, business, and so forth. What, in your opinion, is the value of a fine arts college on a university? And I'm going to give you a multiple question and say, and even to our society.
Well, you know, the arts and humanities are critical to the development of mankind in terms of our growth and understanding of who we are and what we are. The sciences, of course, are extremely important to the advancement of our lives, and through the ubiquitous nature of technology, everywhere we go, we are bombarded with the technologies, but medical advancements, we're living longer. But even though we are celebrating and enjoying those aspects of of society, it is also important for us to understand our history. What really makes us human? And it is our history, understanding where we come from, how we evolved, understanding the successes of the history of society, understanding the tragedies, and the arts and humanities, the courses in history, the courses in communication, the courses in art history, the courses in dance and in music and in film, all tell us who we are and gives us avenues of expression, gives us avenues of operating both intellectually and spiritually and emotionally. And the arts provide us an avenue to tell our individual stories, not just our vocations, what we do to survive in terms of the sciences and technologies, engineering, as you mentioned, but also it provides us with greater opportunities to express those things that are not quite as easy to express through the visual arts, through dance, through music, through theater, through film. We're able to celebrate our past, our present, as we look forward to our future.
You know, there's always great needs in any college, and I just wonder, are there special needs that you see in the Fine Arts College, and do you have, maybe a better way to express it is, do you have goals that you want to see to take this college further, and what are they, and what could we do to help? Is there a way the public can help to promote those goals? I know I give you a lot of questions. I don't ask you one question, I ask you several.
The greatest asset for the College of Fine Arts is its faculty. Bringing to the campus great artists and scholars and educators, people who are proven they themselves in terms of their own craft, who provide the mentoring and the nurturing of young minds, always being able to understand what is happening in the world and finding vehicles to express that through the arts. The challenge for a college is to always have the ability to be rejuvenated, to be renewed on a constant basis. And so that means that our faculty need to be able to have interactions with the greater arts community, it also means that we would want to bring the greater community to the campus. There needs to be a flow of new information, a flow of new creativity, and that happens through our ability to attract new and exciting faculty. It also happens through our ability to have visiting artist programs where we are able to bring to the campus our great artists who are performing in some of the major venues throughout the world. It is very important because of the global how small the world is becoming, to bring to our campus those artists from other international communities. All of these sort of things take money and it takes resources, and so the challenge for me is to be able to have the kind of resources where I'm able to facilitate our ability to always attract the best, the brightest, the people who understand creativity in the greatest sense of the word. Because if that happens, then we also would be able to attract the most talented student. So it works hand in hand in our ability to do that sort of thing. Of course, facilities never hurt. Having new facilities that are state-of-the-art, that reflect where our students are going to work, how they're going to work when they leave the academy. And so being able to, again, not allowing the arts offerings at the university to become stale, to become dormant, but to always be renewed through updating new faculty, new visiting artists, looking at our facilities, making sure that we are staying on the front end of what's happening in our professions is really a great challenge for any university. And of course, if you want to maintain your stature as an institution that is in the upper echelon of arts institutions, then that's really what it will require these days. This institution has a great history. I think that's one of the reasons why I decided to take this job. I heard about the University of Utah before I arrived. I had been close friends with my predecessor, and Phyllis Haskell had told me so much about this institution and this college, and it is my desire to not just maintain our history, but keep pushing and creating new histories, creating new places for the college to achieve, for the faculty to achieve. And it takes that kind of mindset of having among your faculty the thinkers, the people who are creative in their thought, understanding the power of the arts and what the arts do in keeping a civil society. If we're not familiar with the capacity of humankind in terms of our ability to do good, our abilities to do evil, and the arts always provide us an avenue to look at ourselves. The arts provide us a possibility to mirror, if you will, the human condition. And so I get very motivated when people ask me these kinds of questions, because the arts are so critical to the future of mankind. And without the arts, the absence of the arts, we will become, in my opinion, a dead society. We may be able to achieve all the greatness through avenues of the sciences, through the avenues of engineering or business, but it is the arts and the humanities who help us to never lose sight of the the higher self, if you will. That's very important for a civil society to be able to continue to advance.
You know, you're terrific. You're so passionate about all of the arts. Yeah. And I know that your main field was music, but it's wonderful to see that passion. I find that Salt Lake, when I first came here, it was very much, the society was close to the university itself. Now it has grown so much. And I wonder if our audience realize the programs, the performances, the things that go on here. Could you speak a little bit about the presentations by the art students and the dance and
Sure.
theater that are here, and how the audience beyond the university audience could come to see performances? How could they access to know what was happening in the college?
I'm very happy to do that. The College of Fine Arts, for the last 2 years, has published, and beautiful, if I have to say, an annual brochure of all the major arts events on this campus. And it's a comprehensive calendar, about 36 pages. This year, in that brochure, we highlighted 128 events, major events, that take place on this campus throughout all of the arts. Within the College of Fine Arts, we, in that brochure, don't even advertise everything. We just advertise the major events with our major ensembles. Let me start with the performing arts. We have music and theater and ballet and modern dance. And in each of these units, there are main stage performances. The theater department has a season in the Babcock Theater, which is located on the lower level of the Pioneer Memorial Theater building. It also has a second series in the Department of Theater building, Studio 115. Between those two venues, they do about 10 major plays a year, 10 to 12 major plays a year. This is so important because it gives the students an opportunity to actually practice in a live setting their craft. I'm a singer, and of course, my career as a student, I learned to sing in a studio, one-on-one with my voice teacher sitting at the piano, playing the music, and I'm singing for him or her. But the only place I can really learn the craft of performance is in a public venue, because not so much, it is important for me as an artist, I hope I'm not digressing too much, but it is important for me as an artist to get the experience of actually singing for an audience. But there is a higher or greater benefit. The greater benefit is community. And the reason why the arts are so important in terms of, people play in their living rooms or wherever they sing in their homes, or they dance when we grew up, we had little house parties and we got with our little friends. And all of that is a part of community. We learn community first in family. We learn how to share first in family. So the listener, the person who comes to listen or to see, is as important as the person who performs, because it's community. It is that human element of sharing. That's why the arts are so important. So we have major ensembles in the Libby Gardner Hall for music. So we have an orchestra, and we have choirs, and we have an opera program. We have bands. In addition to solo piano recitals, chamber music. In ballet, we have the Utah Ballet, the premier ballet company, beautiful ballet dancers. That's what we're known for. And then we also have in modern dance, the performing dance company, again, its premier company. And these companies perform works that have, especially in ballet, they perform both works within the classical repertoire, as well as some most recently choreographed works, some by the faculty, some by guest artists. And in the modern dance department, they do exactly the same. They set works, some choreographed by faculty, some by guest artists. The film program has a wonderful screening season where they showcase the films made by our current students. We just recently, on the side, we just recently had a student, an undergraduate student, whose film, his short film, was showcased in Sundance, the 2007 Sundance Festival. We're very proud of that, and that's the kind of work we will see, you would see if you were coming on campus. And then, of course, our art and art history department has exhibitions of undergraduate and graduate students and visiting artists and faculty. So there is quite a bit going on this campus, and the greater benefit of it is the actual learning and witnessing the, there is a wonderful saying in the Bible about how magnificent humankind is. I'm paraphrasing, but it is through the arts that you begin to witness that. It is when you're able to see the imagination and the creativity we're capable of. And there are very few ways to see it more profoundly than through the arts.
Now, could you also say to our audience how they would get the brochure, and are there things online? Could they access the college some way?
Thank you for asking those questions. I got carried away. Yes, you're right. It is online. We have been fortunate in the support of the university that they're on the main university homepage, utah.edu, www.utah.edu, which will bring you to the university main page. There is a tab that's called Arts and Culture. You click onto that, and it will bring up the most current arts events happening on campus. That's one way. The other way is when you do come on campus, we collect data. We try to find out who are in our audience by getting information. So each year, we do a mass mailing of the brochure. We print about 50,000 brochures every year. And so we use the mailing lists from the College of Fine Arts, from Utah Museum of Fine Arts, from Pioneer Theater, from Kingsbury Hall, and from Tanner Dance. We merge all those mailing lists together to try to prevent you from getting 4 or 5 copies of the same brochure, but we send out about 50,000 a year. So if you're on our mailing list, we hope that you're getting it. And if you're not, you can certainly call my office at 801-581-6764, and my staff would be very happy to take your information and make sure that you're on the list for future mailings.
You know, it's wonderful, as I said, your passion and feeling that I get of how the Fine Arts College is really progressing. And I think that one of the exciting things that happens for people that would come to see the art exhibits and to see the performances of the theater and the ballet and modern dance and the music department, is you see the young talent
Yes.
that go on
Yes.
and in many instances become well known throughout the world.
Yes.
And I think that in our history, some of that has kind of gone out. People are wanting to see after you've arrived, but there's an excitement
That is.
about seeing them
Yes.
in the formation as they're learning and as they're developing and how they do develop. And I think you've given us that passion of what it means to really be on the university campus. And I thank you so much for your time and wish you well
Thank you.
as the College of Fine Arts continues to grow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.